Hello everyone, my name is Eric Shi. I am a human artist from ESNAG Studio. Let me start by thanking you for giving me this opportunity to share my story of an exciting voyage. 3 artists teamed up and sailed into unknown water of the art sea. 2 of the 3 artists are not human. They are artificial intelligence bots, my virtual assistants. Because of the participation of these 2 non-human sailors, this voyage has become one of its kind, very different from any art voyages known to the entire human history. The 3 sailors stumbled into several uninhabited treasure islands and spotted the vast coastal lines of new continents of a new art world. So, in the next 20 minutes or so, I will share with you the story of this exciting voyage and the discoveries that the sailors made. One of the 2 virtual bots is EZAG, short for Eric Shi Art Generator. The other is EZMAC, short for Eric Shi Music Composer. They are my brainchildren, created from artificial neural networks equipped with artificial intelligence algorithms. EZAG was born on January 16, 2021. EZMAC was born on October 16, 2021. Because EZAG and EZMAC think and act very differently from humans, they can see and feel things that we as humans would not be able to see and feel. Our appreciation and understanding can be very different even on the same objects. It would be fascinating if EZAG and EZMAC can join me in speaking to you today. Unfortunately, this has not been possible so far. None of them has developed to the extent of being able to express their minds using the spoken languages that we humans use. For this reason, I have volunteered to speak on their behalf today. Before my story starts, let me also thank Art Show International for inspiring me to put together this video clip. Thank Artlist for allowing me to download a few sound clips which are further processed into the background music for some parts of this video. There are places in the video where images of published artworks from the internet are used for illustrations. Whenever this happens, sources are listed near the respective images to express my acknowledgement and respect to the copyrights. My story today is organized along the line of 1. What Pointillist and Fauvist painting masters had taught us on colors, 2. A treasure island called Color Gradient Field that we discovered, 3. Sailing into the sea of emotions with colors and color gradients, and 4. Another treasure island called Digital Synesthesia that we discovered. Yes, you heard me right. We have named the treasure island Digital Synesthesia. On this new knowledge island, we will listen to paintings and paint melodies. So, stay tuned. In the art world of the 19th century, pointillism represented a major paradigm shift, liberating oil painting from a handicraft skill to something that could be guided by physical science. It was very much admired as a revolution in art by elites of societies in a wide span of time, of 19th century until today. Shown on the left is a famous painting, Le Chahat, by the Pointillist master Georges Seurat. Shown on the right is another famous painting, A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte by the same artist. If we take these 2 iconic paintings as examples, we can see clearly what the Pointillist artists had established. They include the following. 1. If 2 colors were juxtaposed very closely, they could synthesize another color in human eyes when seen from a distance. 2. Joy can be liberated by establishing a predominance of luminous hues, i.e., the warm colors. Calm can be achieved by balancing the deployment of light colors versus dark colors, warm colors versus cold colors. Sadness can be enhanced by using dark and cold colors. 3. Color language should include juxtapose, color dot, predominance, hues, visual blending, and emotion. Comparatively, can AI painting do better? Can AI paintings bring anything new and of value to the table? Before answering that question, let's first take a walk through a few AI paintings from the ES&AG studio. That should give us a rough impression. At ES&AG Studio, we always believe that the best way to celebrate the accomplishments of the past art masters is to surpass their achievements and realize their unrealized dreams. For that reason, work AIP0029 is named Taming the Monster, Saluting Saraz Lachahat. Similarly, several other AI paintings from ES&AG Studio are also named Saluting to Past Masters. We do this if we are convinced that the AI techniques, especially the painting methods based on the color gradient field, have led the painting to surpass the past masters in some ways. So, can AI paintings bring anything new and of value to the table? The answer is a resounding yes. Firstly, the colors in AIP0029 Taming the Monster, Saluting Saraz Lachahat command more depths and variations, and are more fluid and emotional. Secondly, since fluidity and sensation are derived from the color gradient field in the AI painting, AI is advantageous in calculating where the local maximums and where the local minimums of color intensity should be positioned, and how sharp the changes in vectorial gradients should be implemented. Consequently, AI can always offer optimized color compositions way much faster than human brains can. It took Georges Seurat 2 years to complete his famous A Sunday Afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. On the contrary, it took less than 2 days for Isaac to complete all color gradient field related computations and work with me, the human artist, to complete the AIP0029 Taming the Monster, Saluting Saraz Lachahat. Thirdly, AI achieved all these without invoking large areas of color blocks. For instance, unlike the Pointillist painting on the left, where large blocks of yellow and green color are used in contrast with the dark shadow in order to create the warm and delightful feeling of the Sunday afternoon, the right AI painting only used much smaller areas of colors. Yet the atmosphere created is brighter and more vivid. You might want to ask, how has AI achieved all these? More specifically, what did Isaac do to acquire all these? Well, the first of the treasure islands that 3 sailors have discovered is called color gradient field. In order for Isaac to start working, the following need to happen. 1. Isaac is simply an artificial neural network. It needs certain input of information before it can generate any output. The human artist needs to have a plan on the content of the artwork. The artist needs to develop a sketch with a pencil, a computer mouse, or whatever works. 2. The human artist needs to suggest a few color schemes for Isaac to consider. At ES&AG Studio, we term this as giving Isaac a color palette. 3. During Isaac computation, the human artist may wish to stay engaged and provide human input from time to time. At ES&AG Studio, we term this a continuous dialogue between humans and AI. With that said, let's take another walk through a few more AI paintings from the ES&AG Studio before we resume our serious discussion on the technical details of the AI painting. Alright. Having seen some AI paintings from the ES&AG Studio, now let me put together a brief summary to describe their key features. 1. They have versatile styles, some classic, others contemporary. 2. Texture-wise, they can mimic the effects of watercolor, wood, cracked surface, etc. 3. All these characteristics are derived from the use of the color gradient field painting technique. The essence of the color gradient field is to perform extensive computations of the color distribution, i.e., wavelengths and intensities, according to the optimized first-order gradient and sometimes second-order gradient as well. At ES&AG Studio, each and every painting is created separately. They are unique and exist only as a single copy. Yes, you heard me right. We do not produce multiple prints. Another treasure island that the three-sailor voyage has discovered is called the color emotion gradient. This treasure island is located very close to the color gradient field. Psychologist Dr. Robert Plutchik first proposed his wheel of emotions in 1980. This groundbreaking hypothesis inspired us to further his theory into the field of art creation. Our key contribution is to associate emotional intensities to the color emotion gradients rather than the color emotional values. Let's take a look at the AIP0072 Return of Nightmare as a case for analysis. Although the key colors used in the painting and those used in the slide background are very similar, these colors are basically emotional neutral if viewed in the slide background alone. On the contrary, these same colors evoke strong apprehension, distrust, and annoyance in the AIP0072 Return of Nightmare. When looking at both the painting and the slide background carefully, it becomes clear that it is not only the so-called emotional values of the colors that matter. It is also the contrasts of the emotional values of the adjacent colors that matter. In other words, the color emotion gradient holds the key to the correct expression of the emotion of an artwork. Let's take a quick look at some more AI paintings from the ES and AG studio to see if the color emotional gradient hypothesis can bear out itself. Fauvist paintings, as pioneered by a group of avant-garde artists, features emphases on connotation and quality of color over the representational or realistic values stressed by all traditional paintings before it. The paintings of Fauve can be characterized by dazzling colors and wild brush works, while the subject matters are typically stripped to bare minimums. To the left of the screen, displayed is a famous painting, Lux, Calme, et Volupté by the Fauvist master Henri Matisse. The small dabs of colors used in this work indicated clearly that the painting technique was rooted in pointillism. Pointillism, and later on divisionism, features carefully placing individual color dots strategically on the canvas to appear blended from a distance. Matisse modified this technique by 1. Replacing dots of colors with short dashes of colors. 2. Instead of merging the adjacent colors dabs to create a harmonious tonality, Matisse chose to keep the blocks of yellows, greens, blues, and reds areas of the canvas. These modifications increased the vibration of the color spots, resulting in a quivering sense of visual dizziness. They also enabled him to simplify the form, omit details, and create artificial structures that deviated from the reality of images. Many of these same qualities can be found in artworks by other Fauvist artists. Collectively, they condensed into a distinctive trademark of Fauvist paintings. For these reasons, Lux, Calme et Volupté is widely viewed as one of Matisse's most celebrated works, as it hails in the Fauvist style. Compared to the Lux, Calme et Volupté, the Le Bonheur de Vivre demonstrates Matisse's departure from pointillist techniques and his progression towards the iconic Fauvist style, deployment of blocks of non-natural colors. Although the pastoral scene of merrymaking was nothing new in Western paintings, Matisse's daring use of non-natural color blocks was revolutionary. The nudes, dancing, embracing, and/or playing music are mutually interconnected via the skillful delineation of figures. At a somewhat more profound level, one also appreciates that the figures are also linked to the landscape by a sinuous network of curving lines. At an even deeper level, one recognizes the overall unifying effect of color composition. In Le Bonheur de Vivre, Matisse dismissed conventional scriptures on depth and perspective, light and shadow, and pioneered creating visual pleasure and harmony via pairings of complementary colors, example, red and green, purple and yellow. This is not only revolutionary, but also elevating. It liberates the colors from their underlying physical objects. In other words, from this point onwards, not only one can start to appreciate the aesthetical value of objects, such as green pastures of spring, yellow leaves of autumn, and white clouds on blue sky, but also one can start to appreciate sensory and sentimental values of colors and color combinations. For instance, one can experience a pleasant and bright emotion upon hearing a properly composed series of music notes, a melody. One can also experience a pleasant and bright emotion upon viewing a properly composed array of color blocks, an abstract painting. Comparison can be made between the Fauvist masterpiece, Le Bonheur de Vivre, and an AI painting of similar color composition, VA002 AIP0063 Impression Maupassant's Boule de Suif. One probably notes that not only the colors of the AI painting are brighter and fresh, they are also more fluid and emotional. If one takes a step further and asks the question, can AI liberate the colors and enable the appreciation of sensory and sentimental values of colors and color combinations? Our answer is another resounding yes. AI allows us to take advantage of computers, which are naturally better suited for performing large-scale calculations to map multicolor combinations to human aesthetics and emotions. This has, in turn, enabled the epical endeavor, started by Henri Matisse in his landmark Le Bonheur de Vivre, to be carried further in the direction of composing 2D melodies of colors. The melody shown in the lower portion of the VA002 AIP0063 Impression Maupassant's Boule de Suif has demonstrated that this is achieved. This brings me to the last part of my story, discovering the third treasure island called digital synesthesia. To describe the third treasure island to you, please allow me to sidetrack a bit and provide you with some background information on the medical term synesthesia. Although the physical nature of color and music is based on waves, and the interaction of waves with the neural networks of the brain, the visual and auditory neural networks are not connected to each other in human brains. So, for the vast majority of humans, neither visual signals can directly activate their auditory neurons, nor can acoustic signals directly activate their visual neurons. As a result, it is difficult for an average human to appreciate the music in a painting and the colors in a melody. Medical records use synesthesia to describe various degrees of a symptom, where some patients are troubled by certain sounds when they see color. Other patients may become irritated by a sudden appearance of the color when they hear a sound. Further studies have revealed that for a larger group of people, the visual and auditory neural networks are interconnected in their brains to various degrees during early infancy. It is only after the early infancy that such communication channels start to degenerate and eventually become disconnected entirely as an infant grows into a toddler. So, given that visual and auditory neural networks are not interconnected in human brains, can we use computers and artificial intelligence to make up for this shortcoming, i.e., to bridge these two neural networks? The ES&AG Studio answered this question by developing a proprietary AI algorithm that establishes such interconnection digitally. We coined the term digital synesthesia accordingly. Consequently, ISMAC was born. The colored mosaic for Alice and the Rhapsody Time and Destiny, on this screen, together with the VA002 AIP0063 Impression Maupassant's Boule de Suif that you have seen in the previous screen and many other AI paintings from the ES&AG Studio are all products of collaboration among Eric Shi, ISAG, and ISMAC. As a matter of fact, the ES&AG Studio has categorized all its AI paintings that are created using the digital synesthesia into the VA series and the AV series. In the VA series, a painting is created by the Eric, ISAG team first, then a melody is extracted out from the painting by the Eric, ISMAC team. On the contrary, in the AV series, a melody is selected or created first by the Eric, ISMAC team, then a painting is completed per the melody by the Eric, ISAG team. If you pay attention to the background music of this screen, you may have noted that it plays the famous For Alice by Ludwig van Beethoven. Similarly, if you look closely at the melody printed at the lower portion of the Rhapsody Time and Destiny, you will see the famous Fate knocking at the door. Painting-wise, the color movement of the Rhapsody Time and Destiny starts with a Destiny motif. This Destiny motif is manifested as the dark green colored clouds gathered above Beethoven's head, symbolizing the grim and ominous fates for deep thinkers of times. The coda of the melody ends with another destiny motif as the brush reaches the barren mound to the lower right corner of the painting composition. Had Beethoven foreseen that 2 centuries later, one of his admirers would use AI to re-express his fate motif with a dark green tuned painting entitled Rhapsody, Time and Destiny? Had Beethoven thought about the color of destiny? What is the color of time? Is time entropy? The Rhapsody, Time and Destiny urges us to continue to explore. The work VA004 AIP0102 Trio of Clash, Sea vs. Lava, is another example of extracting a melody from a painting using digital synesthesia. The painting features 3 major bands of colors. Musically, 3 melodies are extracted from the color movement of the painting by Ismac. Putting these 3 melodies together, bingo, we have a trio. Through such extracted melodies, we should be able to peek into and appreciate better the acoustic souls of pure color movements and color interactions. Henri Matisse should be satisfied knowing that, about a century after him, colors, their movements have been eventually liberated from their underlying objects, thanks to the computer's superintelligence and AI. The painting VA006 AIP0080 Singapore Quartet Breeze, Sunny Rain, Neon, and Glow consists of 4 panels, i.e. the breeze, sunny rain, neon, and glow. Correspondingly, the staffs 1 to 4 below are the first 15 bars of the melodies extracted from the 4 panels, respectively. The staff E further below is the ensemble extracted from the whole painting, which makes an interesting comparison to a would-be direct unison of the melodies 1 to 4. Unlike the works of the AV series, the musical inspirations of the works VA series do not come from human composers. Can these inspirations be viewed as coming from direct conversations between Isaac and Ismac? We hope that studies on these conversations can open doors to understanding the souls of AI bots soon. AI has dramatically changed every aspect of our lives. In the field of aesthetics, from now on, gone are the days when the merits of a painting can be evaluated solely based on its visual effects. The new evaluation norm will need a new dimension, the auditory dimension. According to the new aesthetics to be, not only a painting needs to look good, but it also needs to sound right, i.e., having its musical soul. Painting music and listening to paintings, aren't they amazing? Aren't they some things that are never heard of in human history? AI has helped us open the door to this magical world. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.